What is going on, everyone? Anthony here, and welcome back to another video here on Let's Talk Resident Evil. And in today's video, I will be discussing the brand new information that we got on Resident Evil 4 Remake from this month's issue of Game Informer, where the people from the magazine went out to Japan and interviewed the producers of the game, and they were able to play chapters 1 and 5 and explore the beginning, play the church level, everything like that. So we got a bunch of information to talk about and unpack. The first thing that they mentioned is they originally didn't want to do the remake. And that is something that I wonder if that's just because the pressure would be so massive on this game because RE4 is considered in such high regard. Maybe they didn't see a reason to go back and do it right away because maybe they wanted to do a different remake. I'm curious to see if they go further into this reasoning as to why they felt that way in the article. And then it says that they didn't want to start from scratch either. And they want to actually enhance it and keep what's there and keep the integrity of the original game, which, of course, there were some issues with Resident Evil 3 Remake with that. And I think a lot of fans were uneasy on whether or not that it was going to include everything or cut stuff. It's a big topic of conversation now with remakes and everything. And we recently got the Dead Space remake, which was, a very good mix of, keeping the same integrity of the original, but just adding certain things. Some may go over well with fans, some may not. It works both ways on all the remakes, honestly. But that's very interesting that they mentioned that. And they really want the replayability and how flexible you can play the game to be a key factor in this, and how you can adapt and approach it differently with different combat and stealth mechanics, and also just having a replay value that we know in Resident Evil. But that leads to the next point, is that you can actually carry multiple knives. So there you go, John. Multiple knives for Resident Evil 4, and you can beat the game with a knife only, which we, always expected that you could do a knife only run with these Resident Evils, but with multiple knives, hell yeah, that's a great option. Another thing here is the laser sight is an upgrade, and yellow herbs are in the game, which I know that yellow herbs were in the screenshot, so that wasn't really a surprise to me. And laser sights as well were also seen as an attachment. So this bit of information was already kind of out there, unless you kind of missed some of the screenshots that came out in the background. They were showing a lot of this stuff, so that's pretty cool. We saw that. Another thing is there can be ground executions that stop the parasites from popping out of the ganados, which means if you're fast enough, you can prevent a lot more issues that can occur if you just let the parasites happen. They take up a lot of ammo, and they can be a lot to deal with when you have mobs of enemies around Leon and Ashley. Now, next up, we have a few things about Ashley and how she will be utilized in the game with the command. Now, the command is now the right stick to tell her to follow you, or she can fall back. Now, she doesn't just sit in one spot anymore. She actually moves. If you tell her to wait, she'll fall back and move herself instead of just sitting in one spot waiting to die. But this time, they mentioned there is no dumpster to throw Ashley in this time. So you're out of luck with cover. She's going to be out in the open, and she's going to be more exposed. But they did talk about the health as well, and it looks like the health is going to be non-existent. She's not going to have a health bar, but if she does take enough damage, she will go down. You can revive her, and then she'll be dead the next time she gets hit. So we have a couple new things here. So a new weapon was also talked about called the Bolt Thrower, and that is going to be a crossbow that's going to be utilized in the game. There is going to be a new enemy in the arsenal this time. It is going to be a man in a bull mask wielding a hammer. So that is something that is completely new to Resident Evil 4. And I wonder how that's going to work and how that's going to play into the game and where this enemy is going to appear. It looks like there is a section in the article that showcases the bull enemy with Leon and Luis. So this enemy looks like it is going to, in fact, be when you're together. There are side quests that Capcom are including in this game that can be fetch quests or puzzles that also reward the player. So that's something that they're adding into this grand game. I mean, this game is going to be big. There's going to be multiple layers to the village, the castle, and the island, and I'm sure there's going to be side missions that we can do on all three. But side quest is something that we really want to see in the remake. I mean, this is just expanding on the game. It is making it longer. It is giving it more length. It's giving you more options to explore, or you can just ignore the side quests and not worry about them, but you do get rewarded for doing them in most games that offer them. So this is something that's really cool, and I think this will add another layer to Resident Evil 4 Remake, because not even Village had side quests. They had side things you can do, and you know, they had the whole like hunting system, but that wasn't really like side quests. So the fact that they're working this in even more to a game that's supposed to be so big like Resident Evil 4, this is pretty cool. The last couple things that they mention in the Game Informer article is pretty much just a couple things that we kind of knew, with the attaché case having the perks or the charms that give you more ammo drops, more health drops. You can also barricade doors like in Resident Evil 2, so you can barricade during the house section, and the game also blends horror and action fairly well. So horror and action, we knew this game was going to be a mixture of both to some degree, so hopefully we get a good balance of horror and action. And it looks like we have a batch of new enemies. We have new Ashley features that are going to be utilized with Leon. And it looks like we have a different kind of vibe with no QTEs. We have multiple knives we can use for stealth mechanics. But it's very cool to hear from Capcom and to get actual legit information here. All that's hopefully building up to more info with a trailer and maybe a demo, hopefully soon. So those are all the new bits that were pulled from the brand new Game Informer interview with Capcom covering Resident Evil 4 Remake. Let me know what you think down below in the comments of the brand new bits of info, and stay tuned as I'm going to be doing a couple more videos talking even more about these details and breaking down some stuff as well. So stay tuned for more LTRE content. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe, and stay tuned as the road to Resident Evil 4 Remake continues.